Welcome back everyone to another Robo review. Today I'm bringing you a review on a smartwatch. This is a MSRM. So it is the MS08-Silver model. So this is going to be a smartwatch that is going to pair with your Android phone. This can also be used without a phone. So on the back of it, I'm going to show you really quick if I can get it apart. The back kind of comes off like a smartphone cover. There is a battery back here, and then behind this battery is a slot for a micro SD card as well as a SIM card. Meaning, if you wanted to not use your phone with it, you can actually take your SIM card, plug it in. It'll take any GSM SIM card. I plugged my T-Mobile SIM card in here, and I was immediately able to make and receive phone calls as well as text messages without having to use my phone. So, kind of neat feature with this, especially for the price point this is. This is a fully functioning phone if you need it to be. Or you can simply plug it in or pair it with your phone via Bluetooth, and you can use it that way. So, going to show you really quick. So I hit the button, and the first thing first, you have a clock, and you can choose different clocks if you want simply by tapping it. So you actually only have two choices here. So you got kind of your standard analog clock, and then you have an analog clock that shows the date as well as the seconds and kind of the middle clocks in the middle. So this is the one I prefer. It shows you a little bit more information. It would be nice if they had a digital option. That would be one thing I wish this watch did have, but yeah, you only have the choice between the two. It is on a 1.54-inch touchscreen, so it's not. I mean, this is about the standard size for any square watch. I think the your Galaxy S has about the same, unless you go with the round watch. But I like the square watches more than I do the round watches because you get the full screen instead of it cutting off the edges of the screen. So let's get into a little bit here. So there is under this port here, you have your micro SD charging port. So no wireless charging with it. You will have to charge it via micro USB cable. So not a big deal. There is a camera actually on the front here. It's I'm not sure the resolution of it, but it's definitely kind of like a VGA resolution, kind of a front cam. So if I open it up here and swipe to the side, this is where you get into the watch itself. So your first choices on here on the main screen are going to be your phone call. So if you wanted to make a phone call, you can either just dial it, or if you hit the blue button, you can actually bring up your contacts list. So, got a message here, alert. So if you do that, that's kind of nice. The other button on here is going to be your messaging. So you can either get into view messaging, or you can write a new message if you want to. Now, on the bottom here is a settings as well as menu. So if you go into settings, you have a couple different options here. You can, set it to like vibrate only or ring and vibrate, change the ringtone. There's a factory restore if you need to. Connectivity, you can control your Bluetooth from here. Now if you go into the menu itself, which is at the bottom, this is where you get into all the different apps. So on here is going to be, you got your call log, you got your contacts list, you got your I think this is going to be your sleep quality, so we'll monitor your sleeping. There is a pedometer. Actually, no. Oh, yeah, this is the pedometer. So it'll monitor how many steps you've taken throughout the day. You got your alarm clock. There is, the different modes you can set it into, either, general, silent, kind of like your old school cell phones. There's a voice recorder on here. There is a QR code. You can scan this code. This is what you're going to want to do right when you get the watch. Scan this with your phone. It's going to take you to a download page to download the app required for the notifications to be sent to your phone, or from the phone to your watch. Sorry. So we're going to go back here, back in the menu. There is, like I said, a camera on here. There is Chrome, but Chrome will not work when it's paired. So you actually have to have a SIM card in the watch itself to be able to browse the internet. That's not a big deal because I can't imagine you wanting to browse the internet on a 1.5-inch screen anyhow. So there's also a calendar here. You can view your calendar. Every time you hit the button on the side here, it will take you back. So there's couple. It's got like the reminder if you've been sitting too long, and it's got Twitter, it's got Facebook. I mean, again, these are. I'm not sure why you'd really want this on your phone, other than getting the alerts, but it is there. I think it's trying to do a little bit more than it should be, or it really needs to be doing. But it is there, so there is a couple other apps here that I won't be using, but yeah, others might find a use for it if you can kind of get it working. So other than that, I do like this watch. I've used it for a little bit. My main purpose was I wanted something that would wake me up at night without having to ring the phone. So if I wear it at night, vibrates, wakes me up, especially when I'm on call. Really useful. I also like the fact that, like I said, it just takes calls in general. So, you know, if I have my phones in my pocket, I just want to look at my watch to see who's calling. I can dismiss the call, or I can take it and actually just talk to my wrist and, you know, take phone calls that way. So I definitely like this. It's got a lot of functions to it. I like the fact that it's a full phone if you want it to be. You can also play music through it as well. If you have it paired and you have your media to go to your Bluetooth device, it will actually, play music through it. So if you wanted to do it, you could. You're not going to get the best sound quality out of the tiny little speaker that's in it, but the capability is there, which is kind of nice. So all in all, the only other part that I don't really like too much about it is the wristband itself is kind of hard to put on. The reason for that being is there's these two little nubs that you kind of gotta, when it's on your wrist, you gotta push really hard to kind of get it in there, but when it's on your wrist, it's a little bit harder than it is when it's not. So that's my only kind of complaint about it, is the band could be a little bit better. Maybe just have one of the ones that loops through, kind of tighten it up, and kind of like a normal watch band. That's the one thing I would kind of like, but that might just be my personal preference and opinion. So even with that being said, I'm still going to give this a 5-star review. For this being, like a $30 to $40 watch, you get a lot with it, and it's without having to pay like $300 for a Galaxy S2 that's going to do roughly about the same functions when it all comes down to it. So again, I do like this watch. I'm going to give it my recommendation. So if you like this review, if you found it informative, please rate it as helpful. That helps me bring you more reviews in the future. So hope to see you guys all next time. Take care, everyone.